Hi Apurva, how are you?
Hi, I'm very good, thank you. And how are you?
Yeah, I'm doing absolutely fine. Thank you. Can you tell us something about yourself?
I'm Apurva. I'm from Delhi. I have done my engineering from Greater Noida Institute of Technology in IT. I have done BTech honors, and I have around 8 years of experience in IT industry. I have not only worked in India, but I got opportunity to work in different countries. For example, New Zealand, Singapore, China, and right now, currently, I'm in Hamburg, Germany. And so, yeah, I have started my career with Infosys as a test engineer, and I have worked for a UK client, Barclays, where my main role was like test case execution, creation, regression testing, and it was more of like payment processing from the UI channel. And I have also involved in the end-to-end testing for that project. And then later, after around 3 years, I've got opportunity to go to New Zealand and work for again a banking client, that is Westpac, where I have worked for agile methodology and for the mobile application testing, and where I was also working as a coordinator, on-site coordinator. So yeah, this is it from the New Zealand experience. And then I got married and I moved to China, where I got opportunity again to work with Infosys
Mm.
as a test analyst. And there I worked for a Daimler automobile project. And main role was like effort estimation, creation, scenario creation, and then like resource planning as well, just to take interview for some resources so that we can ramp up our team. And later I got opportunity to work with Csoft International as a test lead manager, where I worked for the linguistic project for Huawei. It was more like testing for the mobile device, like what all functionalities are working, and when we change to different languages, how it is working, and yeah, so it is there. And then later, it was kind of monotonous work for me, so I switched to Factor Technology, where I worked for Microsoft as a SME, TFS SME. So it was more of like a L3 support work, yeah, for the business group IT client within the Microsoft organization. And then we moved to Singapore, and I was pregnant also. Then I got my daughter, and then I started working when she was 8 months year old. And I worked for Optimum Solution, where I got opportunity to work with the, again, European bank client, where I was working as a IT staff consultant. More responsibilities were around like for the testing activities as well, and I was assisting the main BA,
Mhm.
how he's explaining the stories to the development team as well as the QA, and I was learning from the BA perspective as well there. And then my husband got opportunity in Germany, and we moved here in 2020, like during the Corona time.
Mhm.
Yeah, so then I started learning German here. So I have just completed my B1. Yeah, it's B1 certificate. So
Mhm.
it was an integration course. Yeah.
Okay,
So
great.
yes, right now I'm again looking for the opportunity. Yeah, I think it is perfect time for me now.
Absolutely. So you have got experience in various locations and in various, companies. So totally, how many years of experience you have?
It's like around 8 years. Like if I had not gap,
Mm.
then it should be around 10 or something, 11 approximately, because I have started my career with Infosys in Jan 2010.
Mm.
Yeah.
Okay, in Jan 2010. Okay, so
Yeah, and it's been already 2.5 years in Germany.
mm.
So yeah,
Okay, so you are looking to restart your career after this gap. Okay.
career gap. So I want to revamp,
Mm.
my, yeah, skills, and yeah, this is the thing.
Absolutely. So in this 8 years of of your career journey, you have worked
Mhm.
as a manual tester or as an automation tester or combination of both manual plus automation.
The thing was, like, unfortunately, I did not get any opportunity to work as an automation tester,
Mm.
because every time, like, I moved to different location and it was different kind of projects. So I worked for as a manual tester only, yeah.
Mhm.
And then later on, like, gradually, like, more responsibilities were there, but not as an automation tester, yeah. But considering the current market scenario, I really want to, add that skill set to my profile.
Absolutely. Yeah, yeah. That is in demand. And with your number of years of experience, it would be great if you can add that automation level of experience. Otherwise, your resume really looks good. Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, now consider there is a scenario in which you have got a project, right? And you need to lead that project, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you have almost 2 or 4 team members in your team, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you don't have any BRD or FRD for that project. So what would be
Mm-hmm.
your test strategy in that context?
So my test strategy would be there, and all the resources are like new or already working in that organization. I just want to know.
Yeah, they are working in that organization. Hmm.
Yeah, I can say that, like, for suppose for the agile where documentation is less, so definitely we don't have immediate, BRD or something. We have the high level requirements are there. So definitely I will go through with that. I will, coordinate with my BAs, product owners, to just have the clear view what is the actual requirement from their perspective, from the customer perspective, and then I jot it down. And whatever my understanding is, then I will, have a maybe KT session, a knowledge transfer session with my resources, and then I can have a flow diagram, not the exact stories, but so that I will get a clear picture what is going on, what is the end-to-end flow. And with that understanding, I will try to draft a test strategy. And of course I will definitely want to know what is the who is the audience here, who is going to use this application, and what is the demography, whether it is in applications is used by across the globe or in particular location. So depending on these needs, I will I can see like what all testing I can it can be used in the in this particular project. Suppose for China, suppose like they want a localization testing as well, because the maximum audience, they don't understand the English. So it is necessary for them to understand in their specific language. So it is better to go for the localization testing, including the functional, of course. So that would be considering the needs of the customer and the audience and the budget, of course. So on that basis I will create a draft test strategy. Yeah.
Right. So you would be
Yeah.
coordinating with the business analyst, project managers over there, and you would be trying to seek the information from them, like what are
Yeah.
their what are their estimation or what are their expectations rather. Right?
And I would
And
also like to add one point, because suppose if it is an existing project and just new functionalities are getting added, so I will go through the existing documents, whatever is available, or maybe some some Jira portal, or they have some defects or something, so that we can go to the production bugs and understand what was the application all about. So from that perspective, I can also have a overlook there and draft a plan for that.
absolutely. Okay, that sounds good. Okay. So next question is you were mentioning about localization testing and globalization testing, right? So have you ever performed localization testing and globalization testing in your career?
Yeah, so as I mentioned, like for the CSoft International, I worked for the linguistic project, and it was more of like mobile device testing, and where what they want, like we have enrolled freelancers from for the different languages, like for example from Taiwan, from Hong Kong, like where the even the Chinese is different, like Cantonese is there, different dialect is there, different phrases are there. So like these are the different criteria we looked into it. And like not only the Chinese, like Portuguese, also different European based countries which has different languages. So we connect all the freelancers, and then like we plan to give some just a quick training how the like what kind of process we have, and how you're going to proceed with testing. So yeah, this is the role what I played in that organization. So yeah.
Okay, great.
Yeah. So especially like suppose in localization, we should look into the like date, time, and calendar thing. What kind of messages are there? Suppose for like English, we need less space in the screen, but for German, we need more space. So these kind of things we mention in our scenarios, so that testers can come and validate. And
Absolutely.
all the date, time zones, the language, the messages, whatever they're saying. And especially like suppose Arabic, it starts from right to left.
Mhm.
Yeah, so it's like these are the minute things we need to take care of while doing the localization.
Absolutely. And then there are those validation messages or there are any payment related screens. So those kind of currency should populate over there.
What to mention this, yeah, date, time, calendar, and currency, time zones, like validations of UI messages, length of the messages,
Hmm.
the layout. Yeah.
What is the difference between test plan and test strategy?
So I can tell you from the Infosys perspective, because though I was working as a tester there,
Hmm.
but yeah, I was deeply working with my lead. So what as from their experience, I can tell like test strategy is planned at the organization level.
Hmm.
It's a static document,
Hmm.
while test plan is like from created from the project perspective. It's a project level document,
Hmm.
and it is dynamic depending on the requirements, depending on the CRs. We can update our test plan. And in a small organization, what I observed, like you can merge the test strategy in the test plan
Hmm.
as an approach, in the approach column. So this is the basic difference.
Mhm. Okay. And is it a good practice to modify the test plan or test strategy after one final version has been completed?
um I would say 50-50. Reason being,
Hmm.
not always it is a advisable to update the test plan document, but it depends like what all stages we have already done. So it depends on that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now see, this question can come up to you in a real-time interview as well, right? So over there, the interviewer might ask you this kind of question, like, test plan can be modified or test strategy can be modified or not. See, it is always good to modify or to update or to change your test plans, right? It depends. Something might not be coming in the scope, which was earlier coming up or considered as a scope. So the test plan can be changed. And accordingly, let's say if some of the person has left the organization or is no longer a part of project, so those things can be modified in the test plan.
Correct. Yeah.
But coming to the test strategy, let's say you had immediately decided one test strategy that you would be, for example, testing on so many browsers, or you would be testing on these many mobile devices. So those kind of test strategy should not be changed, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So so these things are there. Like test plan can be changed, but test strategy cannot be changed,
I
right?
think it also depends on the scope of the project. Like you are
Yes.
saying, like for the
Hmm.
device testing and all, like the suppose if it is the scope is limited to some
Hmm.
definite devices, or maybe suppose suppose in India more are
Hmm.
the Android user and they don't want to launch their application for the iOS.
Right.
So
Right.
like we have a limited scope. So
Hmm.
yeah, in that way, but maybe in near future they want to launch that application for the iOS. So definitely we have to change our approach, and we can then at that particular time we can update the test strategy as well.
Absolutely, yeah. So it is again, a discussion kind of thing, and it is scope the modification can be done in the test strategy as well, as per the
Yeah.
time and need basis. Absolutely,
Mhm.
yeah. Okay. Now consider you have to test one e-commerce based website. Okay. And you have a team of 5 to 6 members. All are, there in the organization. And
Mm-hmm.
now you are given a role, or you are given a responsibility to draft a test plan for this e-commerce,
Mm-hmm.
right? How you would be testing it. You have to create a test plan from functional testing point of view, from non-functional testing point of view. So
Mm-hmm.
what would be the content, or what would you include in your test plan on a high level?
See, I mean, there is a standard format for every organization for the test plan.
Hmm.
So, like the purpose of this document, the objective,
Hmm.
what is the introduction of this project, like where we are, giving some detail what we are doing actually, and then we will see what is the scope, like features to be tested, not
Hmm.
to be tested, and then we will include over the approach, like you can say strategy, like what kind of testing we are going to do, and whether it is like functional testing or non-functional testing. So
Hmm.
like what I understood from my experience, like wherever I have seen, like for the non-functional testing we have a different test plan
Hmm.
altogether, or for the automation testing we have a different test plan. And then whenever we are sending this document for the sign off to our client,
Hmm.
we attach these documents together and then we send it. Like we don't merge with the functional testing test plan and these testing test plan. So yeah, so these are the thing, and then we will see risks, like in mitigation what can be done, assumptions are there, a test environment, and like again the effort and estimation for the resources. So yeah, these and sorry, test artifacts which are we are going to deliver to the clients. So
Hmm.
these are the things we will take care while creation of test plan.
Right. Right. Now, let's say if you have to set up a testing center of excellence, right, in some company or some organization. So,
Mhm.
what would be your approach in that case?
Okay, so what I understood, like it's a kind of training or something. You are saying testing center of
Um,
excellence, or
no, no,
what is
testing
it
center.
all about?
Yeah, yeah. So testing center of excellence is nothing but it is basically a kind of a framework or kind of a process that you would be
Okay.
setting up, which would define and it would implement, various measures or various processes which are adhering to testing. Right? Let's say if tomorrow in your organization or in your department of testing, you get some e-commerce based website testing, or at the same time you get some project in which you have to just do API testing, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you will be setting up one sort of testing center of excellence, TCOE, it is what called, and
Okay, so
would be
mm,
which would be maintaining various QA principles based on various QA processes. It would be testing and it would be taking care of the needs of customer or clients that are coming to this company.
mm-hmm. So first of all, I did not gone through this word terminology like
Okay.
across my experience. So
Mm.
but still I will try to answer this one. So
Mhm.
what I understood, like are we talking about the metrics, like through which we are going to say like testing is done, or are we no, are we
Okay.
not doing that?
Yeah, no,
Okay.
no, it's not actually a metrics. Metrics are generally, kind of a different thing. But TCO is nothing but you are setting up a center itself where
Mm-hmm.
in your company or in your organization or in your department, at your department level, let's say if you get some challenges, various kind of projects you will get. For example,
Yep.
some project you will get in which you just have to perform manual testing. So you will have
Mm-hmm.
2 or 3 members ready and they will be taking care of that manual testing project. In some project you will be having a role of automation. They have already done some
Correct.
testing, they have got to that level that now they have to do automation. So now what you would do is you would have 2 or 3 members ready, or maybe if they are not ready you will provide some training to them, so that if it's a service based company you can claim billing on those people from the client side, right?
Okay. So
And
it's just
then
like giving training to them for the upcoming technology, or what it is all about.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
yeah, for example, what I understood,
Hmm.
please correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah.
So suppose like in pipeline, we have a project.
Hmm.
And currently in my team, suppose everybody is doing the manual testing,
Hmm.
they don't have that skill set to perform the automation or the API testing.
Hmm.
But my test manager came and told me like we have a pipeline project in which maybe we have to do this, or maybe we have to do the mobile application testing. So
Yes.
what I can do, I can maybe formulate a plan so that they can upskill their skills.
Hmm.
Maybe we can conduct some training for that, or we can I can coordinate with my test manager to plan for the certifications, or they can have online trainings. So if this is all about, like, so that we can groom our testers so that they can perform better in the upcoming projects.
Yeah, definitely. So what is actually, you don't have to, train everyone. What you have to do is you have to identify the skill set about the
Correct.
people who are there in your team. Let's say if someone
Mm-hmm.
is good in doing manual testing, we won't be expecting automation testing from him, right? A sort.
Correct.
So
Mm-hmm.
what you would be doing is you would be establishing a process in which you would
Mm-hmm.
be making sure that each and every person is, not only working in some XYZ project, but he's also working and giving his output based on his or her skill set, right? Let's say if there is a dedicated team of automation testing, there is a dedicated team of manual testing, there is a dedicated team of person who are doing performance testing or non-functional testing, right? So this is how you will be developing a center of excellence, testing center of excellence, where you would be having these many people, these many members in your team, and whichever the projects come based on the client requirements, in which sometimes they only need API testing to be done, sometimes they need security testing to be taken care. So accordingly, you will be pushing your members and you will be allocating them the projects.
So it's more of kind of you are upskilling your resource pool, right? I
Up,
mean.
yeah, that is a stage that you will have to do. Let's say if tomorrow, if out of 5 people who are doing automation, 2 or 3 are
Mm-hmm.
not a part of your organization or anymore, or they are on notice period.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So you will have to, ramp up your other people, give them proper knowledge or give them some sufficient training so that tomorrow they can replace the ones who are leaving.
Correct. Yeah.
So have you got that opportunity? till now, TCOE, that is Testing Center of Excellence?
Not really actually. So I mean, that's why I said like this is the first time I'm hearing this term. But thank you for that. Maybe I will prepare for that.
No
Yeah,
issues, no issues. But this is
yeah.
very important. Like now, as you are traveling, at various locations, or sometimes now, I was just seeing your CV, and you have been working as a lead or sometimes subject matter expert, as you mentioned, right? So these things might come up to you now, right?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. So this is good. Okay. Now, in this Infosys China, where you are working as test analyst, you were
Mm-hmm.
given a responsibility of test effort estimation creation. So
Yeah.
can you please elaborate on this? Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like what we did, like we use the work breakdown structure approach,
Mm,
where we, dividing our modules into subtasks, and like from these subtasks, we see the complexity, like what if it is like, then we give weightage to that,
mm,
and depending upon our the what to say like timeline,
mm,
where we decide like, and depending on the team members in that particular project, we there is a calculation for that, like you can multiply the complexity and the whatever weightage you are giving for that particular subtask, and accordingly we conclude the person hours, the total person hours, and then I prefer to add some around 10% contingency, like if something is wrong, or if some other suppose my team member is ill, or he cannot come to and maybe he wants to go to join some different organization, so these are the things, and maybe we need to give some training to them. So these are the different risk and assumptions which we took while creating the test effort estimation. Or sometimes like it's a random thing also, like with the historical data and with the experience, so we took these kind of approaches, but definitely not the the standard one which we study in theory, but I don't think so these are very much applicable in the current scenario.
absolutely. No, no. So it depends on, the organization in which you are working. What
Hmm.
is the number of people that you are working with? What are their skill sets? So it is, quite justifiable, this answer.
Yeah, but it looks so fancy to study and read. Oh my God, there are multiple estimation techniques, but actually in practical scenario, don't use them. Like
Mm.
what I have experienced, I don't know.
There are times when you have to take the decisions based on the situation in which you are in. Right? So those are real time scenarios. Those are real time challenges, I would say. Okay. So how do you keep yourself upgraded? Let's say if any new tool or technology has come up in the market, which are the various resources? Okay.
Frankly speaking, right now, sir, I was looking into for the German thing because I thought like maybe in Germany it is better to learn German so that we can go, crack the market at
Hmm.
least with this skill. But I have found that no, there are very less QA jobs in Europe, across the Europe. Like in English speaking countries, what I have observed, there are more QA jobs, but not in Europe as such. So I'm just right now I have also enrolled for the B2
Hmm.
level of German, because for QA, I think they want, even for the team lead position, they want to converse in German with the clients because there are maximum German clients. So in parallel, I'm doing this, and I have like though I have done in February, some I have enrolled to the Google automation course from the Coursera.
Okay.
So yeah, but there were some personal issues, I couldn't continue that, but yes, right now I am planning to do that, and I have also enrolled myself for the AWS certification for the solution architect, because what I think, because in LinkedIn you see ample of jobs in cloud,
Hmm.
not in QA. So I think maybe this is a high time to change my stream, I don't know. So this is my approach currently.
Absolutely. Yeah. So looking at the criteria, first of all, now you have learned this German language. Great.
Yeah, like what I understood, because everybody was saying, even my teachers were saying, like being in IT, you don't need even German.
Hmm.
But when you actually, because there are many startups,
Hmm.
and startups, they have like clients and which they can only speak in German. So
Hmm.
that is the main challenge for me right now.
Right.
So, but yeah, like being a technical person, I would definitely go for the technical certification rather than
Hmm.
learning the language, because at certain point of time you don't feel like what you're doing. You're not productive at all, because I'm not getting any result after, even after spending my almost a year
Hmm.
learning German. So
Hmm.
yeah.
Okay. So any sort of
So,
technical things that you have recently learned apart from AWS, which is related to testing domain?
um, not exactly, because no, sorry, I
Mm,
did not. But yes, definitely I want to, because I found it like API testing is, it's like a boom in the market right now. So
mm,
definitely I would look into that. So
right.
yes, yeah,
Definitely.
because
See,
like in my project also, like we have done kind of detailed interface testing, but I cannot say that I have done the API testing, because we there also, like, we use some utility, we push some messages,
mm,
and we see the status code.
mm,
But I cannot say like this is a API testing. So I did not mention in my introduction as well. So like I have done API. So
mm.
yeah, that was the reason. But definitely it is quite interesting. So I wanted to do that. Yeah, maybe with Postman, because it is like kind of famous tool these days. Or maybe I'm also planning to do maybe a Scrum Master certification, if it can help to
Mm.
ramp up my career.
Yes,
So
yes.
what you can suggest, you can let me know. Maybe the end
CSM.
of the session. Yeah.
Yeah, CSM certification is the best thing that you should go for, right?
Mm-hmm.
And apart from that, if you want to groom on the technical, so Postman is a good tool. It's a free open source tool, kind of, right? It would be
Mm-hmm.
available to you.
Mm-hmm.
You should definitely take it up, right? At least
Yeah.
you can try testing APIs with those post get methods, and definitely it would help you in your career a lot, right?
So I find it interesting at that time. So definitely, I mean, I will be able to learn.
Yeah, 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 definitely you would be. Okay. Now consider a scenario where you were using Amazon.com, right? E-commerce
Mm-hmm.
website. You are testing it, and on today, for today, apart from you, for example, other 50,000 users were using that website. That website is working absolutely fine, no issues so far. You are able to purchase something, add the products to the cart, items to the cart, do the payment. Now tomorrow, when you come at the same time with same number of users, the website is bit slow, right? You are seeing
Mm-hmm.
some sort of performance degrade issues, like, so there are some performance issues that you are facing, right? So your client or your customer calls you, right? And they tell you that the website, basically Amazon, for example, it was tested by you and your team, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So they call you and they tell you that they are facing some performance testing issues. They are facing some issues with the slowness while navigating from one web page to another. It's taking longer duration of time, right? So what would be your test approach over here? How will you do the root cause analysis for this scenario?
So, like, though I have not done any non-functional testing, but I will try to, answer this question. So, first, my cause analysis, the basis of that, like, I would definitely check the response time.
Mm,
Again, for the API, I think it will come into the picture, so that we can see the response time,
mm,
whatever we are sending the request, and depending on that, like in how many duration we are getting the response time. So basis on that, I can say, okay, there is some problem, maybe there is some lag issue, that's why it is happening. And what like, since you're mentioning the load is same, so
mm,
I don't think so that load is the problem, but
mm,
there is some internal, maybe, or maybe can I refer to this as a stress testing, because gradually the load is same. Maybe first day it was like working fine, and then it is, there is a spike or something, that's why it is performing slow. So these are the things. And definitely every tester will go to the developer and ask like what is happening, and you can see, maybe they can check in their environment. And later, what I can else do, um, if I can replicate that scenario in my test environment, I try to do that. Like, and so just to send the request and see the response, how it is behaving.
mm,
And I will, and if it's still, like, suppose in my test environment it is working fine, and in production it is only happening, so I will try to get the data what they're using. Or maybe I will ask my manager to get the access for the prod environment, so that I can check what is happening there.
mm.
So these are the things which I can right now think of.
Correct, correct. No, you are thinking in the right direction. Apart from that, what you can suspect over here is, let's say in that website, maybe some new functionality or new feature with respect to new product has been introduced, right? And that
Mm-hmm.
product has got some images in the website. It's an e-commerce based website. So those images are very heavy. right? Or because of those images or any new functionality or new feature, there has been a change in the SQL queries that is done by the development team, right? And now those fetching of records from the database is taking time, right? So this can also cause a slowness issue. Or there might be something, right, like JavaScript might not be compatible with the browser
Mm-hmm.
in which they are using. Maybe we have done testing in the Chrome, maybe they are doing Edge browser testing, right? So
Yeah.
those things can also come up. Or maybe environment related. Let's say yesterday when we signed out, the version of the browser was, for
Mm-hmm.
example, 1.0. Today all of a sudden it has got upgraded to 1.1, which is what creating an issue over here. So that can also be a problem, right?
Yeah, thank you. Just for the, like you mentioned, for the image thing, right? So
Hmm.
if new functionalities are getting added, so definitely like we as a QA team definitely get to know that like
Hmm.
there are new features, right?
Yes, yes, new
So
features, new functionality, or let's say if it's a kind of a Christmas kind of a thing, everyone is holiday and they would have got a requirement from client that you have to develop this, and developers only did the testing and they signed it off, right?
mm-hmm.
And they
Yeah,
did not involve testing team,
yeah,
so these things
yeah,
might happen,
yeah,
right?
definitely. Yeah. But I like your response in that way, like the version one. That's a new thing, yeah. Because
Yeah,
I was about to say for the browser, but I did not
mm,
think of the version. Yeah. Thank you.
no worries. Okay, okay, Apurva, I'm done with the interview. Do you have any questions for me?
Just a feedback I want to know, and definitely I want to thank you for giving me this platform so that at least I can see where I am.
Okay, so looking at your CV, looking at the experience so far, it is too
Mhm.
good. You are able to answer manual testing related questions, but looking at your years of experience, what I would suggest you is you should definitely go for Selenium automation or some kind of automation course, and you should try to make it a part of your CV as soon as possible, as
Okay.
now you are after a gap you are looking for new opportunities, you are looking for a change in your career. So you should definitely make Selenium as one of the tools which you are well versed with. Apart from that, you can also try API testing as well.
Yeah.
That is also a
Sure.
good thing, right? Once you
Okay.
are done with these two things, then you can go for non-functional testing. And yes, go for CSM or PMP certifications, certified scrum master or project management kind of certifications, because now it
Sorry.
depends on to you. If you want to go into a technical direction, you can go for these kind of tools, technical roles, technical lead, technical architect, QA principal. If you want to go onto the management direction, then you can go for these
Yeah.
certifications, CSM, PMP.
Mm-hmm.
Certifications are available online. You'll have to go through Scrum, Agile, and all these things, and you would be able to get into the certification. Then this actually would be kind of, you would be able to get into a roles of then not functional project manager, but you would be technical project manager,
Yeah. That's
because
that's true.
you
Yeah.
have
So
technical knowledge. Yeah.
yeah, I have a query for that. Like, suppose you're saying for the Scrum Master and all. So, like, with even with the gap year, I can do that. I can pursue that because I have that like doubt in my mind. Like, you have to be, working in some organization, and then only you can proceed.
uh,
So,
I
so
think,
yeah,
yeah, as far as the knowledge that I have, it has a prerequisite of minimum years of experience that an individual should have. But I don't think with a career gap, it would be an issue. You
okay,
can give that examination. CSM is better, but for PMP kind of certifications, there are certain certifications which you can give only for one time into your lifetime. So what if you don't clear it? So better go for CSM certifications first.
and yeah, I just wanted to let you know that like this Monday, like I have an interview scheduled.
Mm.
So that's why I wanted to see like where I'm lagging, and it is again for the test lead position.
Mm.
So let's
So
see.
into the test
So
lead, they will always ask you about these resources, planning, strategy, approach. So try to give them the answers in all the directions, in all the 360 degree. Don't only restrict yourself to functional testing. Take into the consideration non-functional testing as well. What about performance testing? What about security testing, right?
mhm.
So give those answers.
Okay. Yeah. So this is yeah, that's what I wanted to know, like
Hmm.
from where I am lagging from that kind of, a test lead position, or you have to give.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
And from test lead, you can always ask them about the acceptance criteria of the user story. What is the expectation? So I think in one of the answer you had mentioned, you will be coordinating with them, BA, PO, and all those things. So that was good. You should always go for acceptance criteria. What are their
Yeah.
expectations? applications. Right?
Okay, sure.
And all the best for your interview and for your career as well. Right?
You so much. And I would like to know what you are doing actually. Like, what are you working in which field you are doing? Like,
Yeah,
are you in automation?
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
because
Yeah, I'm into a technical role itself. I'm working as a technical project manager, and I have got a team of manual testing. I have got a team of automation testing and of
okay,
robotic process automation also with them with me. So we are into various projects, taking care of various projects from the QA manager point of view. You can say.
okay. So because in all the videos, like we never heard what you are doing, so I wanted to know.
Yeah, yeah, okay,
Yeah.
yeah.
So okay.
And do share your success story with us once you get selected into one good company, right? And I'm
Mhm.
sure you'll definitely will very soon.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you again.
Thank you.